Welcome into NFL Daily Live. I am Tom Downey. I got my boy producer Jack along for the ride today as well. And today's show is powered by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of Manscaped's top-of-the-line men's grooming products when you go to manscaped.com/chat. We're going to give everyone a chance to click that noti live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Rumble as well. So we'll give you guys some questions to answer in the live chat right now. First up, will Titans trade away A.J. Brown? This is a rumor-ish out there, mostly started by the Jets in an attempt to get a receiver. Kind of feels like that's what's going on here. So will they get one? We'll trade happen, excuse me. T for trade, K for keep. Those responses, those votes in for me right now in the live chat. I see. All right, here we go. Let me get organized. Sorry, we got a scramble show. All right, I see K's from Shelly, T from Nick and Sean, K from Kevin and Super Knight and Philly fans. What I think this comes down to is teams who want A.J. Brown are going to type in T. And people who are just like, I'll be honest in my answer, I'm not trying to speak into resistance, or a Titans fan are going to type in K. I think it'd be really dumb if Titans dealt away A.J. Brown, because now your number one receiver is Robert Woods, okay? And now your number two receiver is Nick Westbrook-Ikhine? It's bad. That's didn't work last year. Why would it work this year? There was a trade that went down earlier today. Shout out to my boy Chase Sr. for breaking it down on both of our Saints and Eagles channels. A lot of, I'm going to call it chaos in this one. In total, all of the picks got moved to an extent. The Eagles get number 18 this year, a late third, number 101 this year, a 7th-round pick, a first next year. By the way, this is 2022, if you want to update that for me, Jack, when you get a chance. 2022 picks this year, a 2024 second-round pick, 2 firsts this year, the Saints get then, and a 6th-rounder. So there's a lot of picks in there. That's a very confusing type of trade package. So let us condense it down a little bit here. Basically what has happened, if we even out the 6th and the 7th to an extent and even out the first-round pick swap, what's basically going on is the Saints are getting another mid-round first in exchange for a late third, a first next year, and a second 2 years from now. So there's a lot going on, but it comes down to Saints are getting an extra first for a first, second, third, but the first and second are in future years. So who do you guys think won the trade? Type in S for the Saints or type in E for the Eagles. I wonder if the Eagles, or the Saints, are done wheeling and dealing here. It's kind of my thought process in the end. I don't know if they're really going to be done. Feels like there's more dealing left. Or maybe they want to stand pat and get both the left tackle and a quarterback, which is possible if they can get a little bit lucky with those picks. The Eagles, they love future draft picks, which I respect. Well, I am in complete agreement on that side. I love future draft picks. And they got another first next year, I think it's 3 now in total, just in case. Just in case. Maybe, kind of, or maybe it's 2 next year. But just in case, Jalen Hurts ain't the guy after all. So I like the Eagles side more, but let me know what you guys think. S for the Saints, E for the Eagles. We'll also talk trades. You mentioned the A.J. Brown one here. We'll mention DK Metcalf as well today, part of the Rumble-only segment at the end of today's video. Who is more likely to be dealt? A.J. for A.J. Brown or DK for DK Metcalf? Let me know in the comments section. Who do you think is more likely to get dealt? I see DK from Smokey, Philly sports fan number 1, says DK. A lot of DKs. The DKs have like 80, 90-ish% of the vote, which neither from Nathan Floyd. It's fair. I said more likely, so somebody has to be, by definition. No cowards way out here. I don't see any AJs. None. It is all DK in the live chat. And some none will be drafted. Can't say I'm too surprised by that one. The Seahawks, after all, are rebuilding, unlike the Titans, at least for now. Now, late tonight, because I'm old and a boomer and cranky now, The national championship game will go on for college basketball. Why they start that after 9 p.m. Eastern? I think it's stupid, by the way, just to be clear. Not because I'm getting old and I have a kid now, but because why are you alienating your East Coast audience? Like, I have always hated this because when I was a kid and I had a bedtime, well, guess what? Bedtime's way before 9:20 or before the game ends at like 11 o'clock Eastern, if you're lucky. I think it's dumb. I think it's way dumb. Who do you got in the game? KU for Kansas, UNC for North Carolina. We also made this the pin poll because why not? That's fun and different. 53% going with North Carolina. Or going with Kansas, excuse me. I misread that. Going for Kansas. 53% say Kansas, 47% say UNC, which I'm actually kind of surprised it's that close. North Carolina maybe kind of feels like the team of destiny. It's not the old school North Carolina necessarily. Of course, they've played like it this tournament run. They've been impressive there. If Kansas plays like the way they did at the beginning of the Villanova game and the end of the Miami game, I don't see them getting beat. I am worried about North Carolina holding up with a limited bench as well. So we'll see what has to happen there. But 53% going with Kansas, 47% going with North Carolina. Super Knight Emmanuel is spamming in KU. Rhino Jimenez says North Carolina. Super Knight says Kansas. Oh, I mentioned that one already. The live chat is pretty close to 50-50, so that does kind of check out from that standpoint. So keep the votes coming. KU for Kansas, UNC for North Carolina. We will also spend, which annoys me, time on Colin Kaepernick because he's still trying to find his way back in the NFL. By the way, the full quote from Kaepernick, I think is even worse than the one that got put on Twitter. I hate it. It's terrible. We'll break that down. So I want honest answers here. What is the % chance that a team signs Colin Kaepernick? I'm talking NFL team. Not XFL. No cheats on that one there. Or for the Fan Control Football League. Thank you there. 5% from Rashard Lee. 6.9 from Mr. Payne. That is, as always, the correct answer. 15%, 100%. 0%, 0, 80, 30, 0, 0 point, or point. Well, 0.1%, Jordan. I think you have the point in the wrong spot, by the way. 0, 100, 0, 0, 30, 15, 16, 15, 0, 100. We are all over the map on that one. I also think we'll kind of be all over the map on this question. Who do you believe is the best prospect in this year's NFL draft? Who you got? Is it Aiden Hutchinson? Kyle Hamilton, who people are now claiming is bad, which is hilarious to me? Is it Kayvon Thibodeau? Is it one of those QBs, offensive linemen? Let me know who your number one prospect is. Not who you think goes number one, but who you think is the best one in this year's class. Aiden Hutchinson, Garrett Wilson, Kingsley Enagbare from Big Dog Wolf. Respect. Aiden Hutchinson, some more Sauce Gardners in there. Malik Willis, Hutch. Stingley, Breece Hall, Kayvon Thibodeau, Hutchinson, Sauce, Hutchinson, Sky Moore, Hutchinson, Sky Moore again. Is that Jeff's burner account in there? Let's see. Kayvon Thibodeau, Derek Sneak, Kyle Hamilton from Join the DAC side. That's my vote. Trayvon Walker, Kobe Bryant from Darth Furman, Chris Olave, Sauce, Andrew Booth. Different name there, Rashard. I like that one. I'm glad to see some different names. Kenneth Walker III, Kenny Pickett from Adam White, Jordan Davis, Devin Lloyd, another Jordan Davis in there. So a wide array of answers, which I think does make quite a bit of sense. And one more question for you guys, part of an absolutely loaded NFL Daily. Where will Tyrann Mathieu sign? The perhaps top free agent left on the open market? You know, maybe it's the corner, Stephon Gilmore. Maybe it's something else altogether. But that's an interesting path I think you could end up pursuing there, where he ends up. So let me know. Where does I see Saints, Bears, Cowboys, Saints? A lot of Saints in there from Breezy, Dusty Rhodes, and Chris Thomas. People saying Cowboys. Have we learned nothing this offseason? That's all I'll say. Well, I'm sure we'll talk Tyrann Mathieu at some point as it relates to the Cowboys in the future. Keep those votes coming, and if you haven't already, like the video right now. That way you tell YouTube, hey, these guys are doing great stuff here at Chat Sports. You should show it to even more people than what you already do. So help us out by liking the video right now. We're at over 200 people watching live right now, and I only have 55 likes. That's a really disappointing number. So if you haven't already, do me that favor. Like the video right now. A massively long, that's what she said, NFL Daily coming up here. Hey, we're sponsored by Manscaped. It's fine. NFL news and rumors, the crazy trade that went down, a lot of free agency, draft buzz, trades as well. 2 mailbags. You can get your questions in right now by using hashtag NFL or by super chatting, and that'll save your questions for producer Jack, make his life just a little bit easier. I've got a new mock draft. I threw this bad boy together right after the crazy Saints-Eagles trade. It is the fastest I've done a mock draft in my entire life because we were pressed against time to get the show going. Mel Kiper has also put out his new big board, by the way, which is cool. We'll break that down. There's some interesting changes, I'll call it. Then NFL Daily After Hours on Rumble only. We'll jump over there, which we're, of course, live right now on Rumble, but only on Rumble for our DK Metcalf trade destinations. That's all coming up right now here on NFL Daily. You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey here with latest NFL news and rumors to break down. We're going to begin with the news of the day. The Eagles have once again made a pre-draft trade, this time for 2022 with the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles and the Saints made this incredibly complicated, convoluted trade involving 7 different draft picks. The Eagles get a first this year, a first next year, a third this year, and a 7th this year, plus a 2nd in 2024. The Saints get 2 first-round picks this year, 16-19, after giving up 18, and a 6th-round pick this year. We can kind of even out the firsts and the 7th to an extent. So from a rough, kind of breaking it down, making it easier to digest, the Saints are getting an extra mid-round first this year for a 3rd this year, a late 3rd, a first next year, and a 2024 2nd. That's basic what this trade is boiled down to with some odd loose ends. So who do you think won this trade? S for the Saints, E for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles kind of getting future draft capital in case Hurts isn't their guy at QB. Saints, wonder if they're done dealing quite yet since now they got 2 first-round picks, 2 big needs at QB and at offensive tackle. Now, speaking of QB, could Malik Willis go number 2 overall? I'll say this, I would be shocked and confused a little bit. Maybe not shocked, but surprised and confused. Bruce Feldman says there's buzz Lions could take Willis. I've heard that too. That buzz exists out there. It's not made up for the Athletics clicks. Willis is a massive boom or bust prospect. The upside is this guy could be a top 15, top 10 QB. His arm is awesome. He's a dynamic dual threat QB. He offers the upside teams covet. And in this year's class, he is my number 1 QB. He also, despite the numbers being okay this past year at Liberty, he was bad down the stretch this year. When you're supposed to launch your stock moving forward, he was bad the final 4 games of the year, and that just is kind of ignored in this particular draft class. Now, Willis is starting to take visits. The Giants at 5 and 7, the Panthers at 6, the Falcons at 8, the Saints now with 2 first-round picks, the Steelers and the Titans, by the way, which I find quite interesting on that standpoint. What makes things interesting is the Lions not on that list. They're not there. Now, this was the reported one by Adam Schefter, so maybe it could still happen. Maybe the Lions trying to disguise their interest, but I doubt anyone moves up to 1 to get him. But if you do want to take him, you only want to know. So, who do you think ends up taking Malik Willis? He will go round 1. Will it be top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20? I'm actually not so sure. So I'm going to make this question the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and shoot your shot. Who will take Malik Willis in this year's NFL Draft? Let's talk A.J. Brown and also some DK Metcalf. The trade rumors around both guys are swirling. both GMs, John Robinson for the Titans and John Schneider for Seattle, say, no, we're not going to trade away A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf. And now Brown, along with DK, have spoken out about the rumors. A.J. Brown said, tired of all this, just like y'all. That was in direct reference to, I would assume, the trade rumors. Maybe he's talking about Chris Rock, Will Smith. Maybe, but it kind of feels like trade rumors on this front. DK Metcalf then today, quote, tweeted an account that said, hey, teams are calling Seattle about trading for DK Metcalf. And Metcalf says, haven't heard anything, per DK Metcalf himself. Now, if you'd asked me, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, hey, could Seattle trade DK? Could the Titans trade you? I'd said you're crazy. Then again, that's all this offseason has been. Russell Wilson. Seattle, we're not going to trade him. Well, they traded him to Denver. Carson Wentz. Nobody wants him. Commanders say we do. Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to Cleveland. Just kidding. Now I am. Because money. Devontae Adams. Gets tagged by the Packers. He's going to stick around. They'll pay him, right? Wrong. To Vegas. And the biggest shocker of all, Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. Now, I believe that both teams would be dumb to trade away their respective young superstar wide receiver. The Seahawks would then have Tyler Lockett and D. Eskridge. The Titans would then have Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. The pick you would get would then immediately go to a new wide receiver. In general, I don't like doing that type of move. So, the flip side is there's real sticker shock within the NFL over the deals and costs for trades of Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. That is where things are interesting. That is where things get chaotic. Where these guys are going to want 25 to 30 plus million a year, and somebody out there will give it to them. And if you want to play the waiting game, well, it only gets more expensive the longer you wait to pay a player. So you can see how things get a little bit dicey. Right now, maybe, should be done, maybe those guys do get dealt. So who's more likely to be traded? Type AJ for AJ Brown or DK for DK Metcalf. Let me know in the comments which player, you got to pick one, no cowards allowed, you think would be a little bit more likely to get dealt. You guys can now watch NFL Daily on Rumble. We are also available on that platform. Go follow us, rumble.com/NFL Daily. Of all the channels here at Chat Sports, we are still up over the Raiders, although the Chiefs beginning to make some ground up on us. The Browns also with 1,000. I don't trust that tricky Mitchell Renz. He's shifty, and I don't trust him at all times. So let's make sure the Raiders don't catch us. Plus, we're posting our videos up there as well. And, oh, by the way, exclusive segments like a DK Metcalf trade video that will be up on Rumble first. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Let's talk N'Keal Harry, the pride and joy of producer Jack Lotteray, because he's a Patriots fan and an Arizona State fan. This was his dream, and the result was Devontae Parker trade, per ESPN, means Harry's time in New England is likely over, which I agree with. And the Patriots would love to find a trade partner. And being a former first-round pick, that means there could be a team that makes an offer. But if I blocked out the name or where they were drafted and I said, hey, what would you trade for this production? You would say, what are you giving me? How much am I signing him? Is this is this like your fifth receiver? This production, in the words of a former former college QB, is ass, my dude. It's terrible. 598 yards, 4 catches on 57 receptions. You would hope, worst case scenario, that was his first year production. So it's his career through 3 years. I know first round hype is attached to it. I get that. That helps the value. Why would I trade for N'Keal Harry? He sucks. I'm sorry. He's bad. He's bad. Now, maybe a new team changes that, but I kind of don't think so. Like, teams with the same organizational people in charge who don't want to give up on first-round picks, unless they suck. The Patriots, meanwhile, now have Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne. I put Bourne behind Aguilar and Parker behind Harry because they're a little bit similar players. Like, it's rough. It's rough, man. It's just not good. So I want honest answers here in the live chat. Does anyone want N'Keal Harry? Y for yes or N for no? Is there a team, maybe it's your team out there, that you think would go out and acquire N'Keal Harry? Let me know. Y for yes or N for no. Now, if you want more NFL news, rumors, and of course, draft and trade analysis, hit that big red button and subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Don't miss out on the awesome coverage we have for you guys here at Chat Sports. All right, time for the rant of the day. Colin Kaepernick. He's getting another chance, right? We'll break down the Kaepernick news, then his quote, which I got thoughts on. Kaepernick is still trying to get back in the NFL. As a reminder, Kaepernick got screwed. There is no doubt about it. There was collusion by the NFL. That's why they settled. He should have been around the NFL after 2016. It's a bit of a joke that he was not. Now, Kaepernick threw at the Michigan spring game. And, fine, whatever. The Seahawks are the main team linked to Kaepernick. The report from ESPN was that teams are concerned that rust's a factor. Duh. Of course rust's a factor. He hasn't played in 5 years. Here's what Kaepernick said at the Michigan spring game with his old coach Jim Harbaugh. Quote, "I can help make you a better team. I can help you win games." That might have been the only part of the quote you saw. Here's the other part. "I know right now the situation likely won't allow me to come in and step into a starting role. I know I'll be able to work my way to that, though, and show that very quickly." Colin, are you serious? Absolutely not is that going to happen. I am sorry that the NFL screwed Colin Kaepernick. It is 2022. Kaepernick is not an NFL starter anymore. He is turning 35 years old this year. Someone once told me, well, Tom Brady. Yeah, Cap ain't Tom Brady. Come on, guys. He hasn't played in the NFL since 2016. The fact that he still thinks he's going to be a starter is absolute delusion. And I get you want to be confident in your abilities. Cool. I get that. Man, you got to face the reality here, dude, that you're a backup at best if you're lucky in the NFL. And the big media who keep hyping up Kaepernick as he should deserve a chance to start, get out of here. Move on. Find a new slant. Kaepernick got screwed. It's time to move on. You want to bring him in as a low-cost vet tryout a la Tim Tebow? Cool. Whatever. That's fine. The idea that he's going to earn a starting role, which he apparently still believes, is insane. It's not what he is anymore. You don't sign a guy off the street who hasn't played in 5 years ago. He might be our starter. Come on. It's a joke. Think he'd be a backup? Okay. Maybe. But this idea that he's a locked and loaded backup is pretty crazy because had Kaepernick been playing this entire time, he might have been out of the NFL by this point. Because remember, run-first QBs don't normally make it to age 35. So be honest with me. What is the percent chance a team signs Colin Kaepernick? 2017, 2018, he unquestionably should have been in the NFL, and you're crazy if you think otherwise. Right now, that's a long time, and we know how ageist the NFL is. So let me know in the comments section. Let's talk Dan Snyder, who actually sucks a lot, by the way. The controversy around Dan Snyder continues as now Congress is investigating whether the Commanders withheld ticket revenue from the league pool. Because remember how things work in the NFL. Doing wildly horrible things with your cheerleaders, kind of allegedly, but also like it happened. Having poop rain down on your fans and your stadium breaking down and everything else doesn't matter that much. But damn if you withhold the money from the other NFL owners, you might be out. Allegedly, an employee of 24 years testified about the financials. The Commanders have said that guy committed perjury. Which is, just attacking the guy like that's kind of crazy from a legal perspective. But hey, whatever. It's a mess for Washington as they continue to be a not good news story around the NFL. Maybe this is the thing that forces Dan Snyder out because he's not good at all. Talk basketball then, briefly here before we get into our mailbag. Who you got in the game? KU for Kansas, UNC for North Carolina. I also like T.H. Manuel's comment, 0.01% chance only because someone brought in Tebow. Yeah, Tebow being in the NFL made even less sense than Colin Kaepernick. We watched Tebow play tight end. It's like, wow, that guy sucks, which shouldn't have surprised anybody in the end. So it is now down to 51%, Kansas over North Carolina. Is executive producer Brett rigging the vote? Maybe. He hates Kansas. Maybe Tyler Jones is going to stuff the ballot box for Kansas instead. 51% going KU, 49% North Carolina. Let me know. KU for Kansas, UNC for North Carolina. It is mailbag time here on NFL Daily. 2 ways to get on the show. Number 1, use hashtag NFL. Or if you want to jump the line altogether, you can super chat. So get those questions in. Hashtag NFL. I see Sean and Roy Williams, etc., all in there. Keep them coming. If you use hashtag NFL, you are at the mercy of producer Jack picking your questions. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. So you never know in the end. But if you super chat, he'll jump that line altogether. You just need to put it in there once, maybe twice, and it'll be in there. Jack says no spam. You can spam, it's fine. Now, after today's show wraps up, we will stick around on Rumble Live only for an exclusive segment. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Check the live chat. We'll put that link in there. We're live on both right now, plus Facebook as well. We do all 3 here at Chat Sports. But if you want to be on the exclusive Rumble segment for live, go check us out and follow us. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. It's mailbag time here at Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey answering all of your questions on the NFL draft, free agency, trades, and everything else in between. Remember to be subscribed if you want to be a part of these mailbags. First in from Nick McClain. Now the Saints did this. I think they'll get younger at center. Eric McCoy's not old, though. So, look, he is in the last year of his deal. So if you wanted to draft and replace, okay. Not sure I'd do that route. Frankly, I'd be more worried about Cesar Ruiz. I'm looking at quarterback and left tackle. And maybe receiver is a route you want to go. I would wonder if the wheeling and dealing is done yet for the New Orleans Saints. They could still make some moves, I think. From Ryan Hood, if you were GM of the Raiders, what would your next 3 moves be? I would go sign Jay Shredder because I do not believe in Andre James as my center. I don't think he's very good. I would look hard at a new right tackle. Brandon Parker, I do not believe is it. If you can't find someone in free agency, I'm looking towards the draft there. And then I'm probably trying to work out a Derek Carr extension, which might be a little bit dicey from an overall value perspective. From Juan Hernandez, if the Raiders sign the Honey Badger, what would you think his contract would look like? It's a tricky one. I think he wants at least $10 million a year. Maybe you give him 3 years, 30 with like $20 million guaranteed. He might want more. I think that might be a little bit more in line with his actual value, though. At least what the Raiders would be prepared to spend. From Keith Thompson, how about the Falcons trading for N'Keal Harry? They don't really have any wide receivers, and they don't. That receiving core is absolute cheeks. It's terrible. Your number 1 guy is Auden Tate, Demir Bird, Olamide Zaccheaus, Frank Darby. That's bad. So I think of all the teams that actually make sense, give them like a 7th round pick, but you also got to draft guys, plural, this year. From Mikey Fan, will the Cardinals pay or trade Kyler Murray? That's the problem, isn't it? Kyler wants to get paid now. He's watching Deshaun Watson get the bag. He's watching Josh Allen get the bag. He's watching Matthew Stafford, etc. He goes, I want that too. The problem is Murray has not yet performed to that level of play. Started 2021 great. Really struggled down the stretch. But there are teams who would desperately love to add Kyler Murray. Some potential fits. The Steelers, yeah, they signed Mitch Trubisky. They've been linked to QBs. They draft somebody. Hurts, not Murray, I don't think, upside or current-wise, so Philadelphia. The Giants would have their franchise QB. The Saints now have 2 first-rounders. Carolina is in dire straits for QB help. Tennessee could go full-fledged. Matt Stafford, Jared Goff. Seattle could get a new QB. The Lions, at some level, there's only like 10 teams that like you would know for a fact would not have interest in Kyler Murray. Maybe it's more like 12, but there would be a lot of interest. Arizona, They didn't extend their GM head coach. Can't bring in a new QB. He's got to be your guy, or I think that regime is getting fired. So what would you do if you're the Cardinals with Kyler Murray? Type T for trade him, sell him while his value is highest. Type W for we're going to wait him out and maybe pay him next year. Or type P for you'd pay him right now. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and type in your T, W, or P. From Anthony, these teams are crazy for giving a wide receiver $30 million a year. Yeah, and 2 years ago we said these teams are crazy for giving a wide receiver $20. The salary cap, right to the moon. Unlike Dogecoin, it's actually going to go to the moon. So it's a lot right now. I get the sticker shock. I do. QBs are getting 50. I know it's a lot. It's not going to look like that much in 2 or 3 years. Trust me on that one. From Maverick Miller, which receiver would you like the Chiefs to draft? Yes is my answer. I would really like a Jameson Williams. I don't think he gets there. My concern for KC is without a trade, that what might end up happening is the Big Five, London, Wilson, Olave, Burks, and Williams, they could all be gone. So if that's the case, you're looking at a Christian Watson, a Sky Moore, George Pickens, and things get a little bit lighter at that point. We got some NFL draft hats available for you guys, the 2020 version from our friends over at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. Check the comment section and the description of today's video. That link is in there. Some of the hats look great, some not so much. Some, like the Cowboys, you have to do the blackout version because white text on white text isn't the best thing. In the Vikings one, though, I think that works really well. Tons of styles. They got the flat brim, the rounded brim, the adjustable, the clip-on, the fitted, all kinds of styles for you guys at chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. From Kevin McFlurry, the photo of Giannis. Should the Chiefs go after Ndamukong Suh? Are you out on Derek Nandi? If so, okay, I get it. It's fine, I guess. Sure, explore it. I'm looking at edge, actually, as their bigger focal point. I'd be looking for a guy like Clowney for KC, because Joshua Kando, Mike Dana, I don't want that guy as my number 2 edge. Maybe you draft someone, and if that's the case, you could revisit Sue post-NFL draft. From Smokey McKenzie, do my Texans trade back from number 3 overall? If not, should we go after Neal or Kayvon Thibodeau? I've got both guys rated very similarly. I think both would be quality picks. If you're going to play Titus Howard at guard, which I think is the route they're going to pursue, then I probably have my eye on a new right tackle in Evan Neal. If you're going to play around, okay, maybe you play A.J. Cann and start Max Sharping. I think it's going to be guard, though, in the end for Howard. Then I look at Thibodeau. I think whichever route you don't go, you're probably looking hard at that position with your other first rounder to fill the other need. But they got needs everywhere. So I think they would love to trade back. I don't know who wants to move up, however. From Robbie Ray, will Brandon Cooks be traded? Maybe. Texans, the report around the Texans was, we're not trading him. But if we were to trade him, hypothetically, we would want a second-round pick back. Okay. So they are open to it. That's what that means. That is we're going to keep him unless you give us a good offer. So will they get a second rounder for Cooks? I'm not sure on that front there, Jim, but I could see it. Cooks is always traded. It's kind of unfair to him at some level. I think there are a lot of teams that would make sense for Brandon Cooks. How about the Browns? They were already linked as having interest. Second or third round, I think third's a bit fairer for Cooks. Sure. Falcons, they need receiver help, but they need picks too. Packers and Chiefs, go get a veteran because, God, you need more talent there. Dark horse, the Saints, by the way, especially, well, a bit light on draft capital, so a little bit tougher now for them. So what do you think? Will Brandon Cooks be traded again? He's not even 30 yet, and he's been dealt 3 times. It's insane and kind of crazy from that standpoint. So let me know. Will Cooks be dealt again? Y for yes, N for no. From Sean, the RC mechanic, Who will fall to the Falcons with the number 8 pick? Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, Kenny Pickett, Jermaine Johnson. I don't think Walker is there. I do think there's a chance that everyone else is on the board. In fact, I think one of the QBs goes to Carolina. I think it's Pickett, actually, with the Matt Rule connection, and you need to win games now. I could see Willis, Johnson, and Davis all being on the board. I could see Kyle Hamilton being there. I could see a Kayvon Thibodeau being there for you. There will be good players on the board at number 8 for the Falcons, and with all their needs, take BPA and just continue to build. From Tristan Bravo, do you feel Christian Harris is underrated due to the overwhelming amount of defensive prospects? I have a second-round grade on Christian Harris, and I think that's where he goes, so I don't think he's underrated. If he gets out of the second round, then yes. I will say this. I think that the linebacking group this year is really deep for the top 100. And you will find a guy that should have gone earlier in the third round or so, because linebacker is not always a big-time run. So I could see Harris sliding, and in that case, yes, I think he'd be underrated. But I got a second-round grade, which is about where I think he goes, so I'm not going to call him underrated from that standpoint. For more NFL coverage, including every single pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, hit that big red button and subscribe right now on YouTube. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. From James Heiner with, is that a Josh Love profile picture? I can't tell who that is. As a result of the Tyreek Hill trade, do you think KC goes either Olave or Josh Dotson at 29? I don't know if either. I think there's a good chance they go receiver. If Olave's there, make him the pick. Like, that's a no-brainer. I think if he's not there, Dotson could make sense. Sky Moore, Christian Watson. I would be surprised if they didn't go receiver in round 1, but draft stuff happens. There's surprises all the time. From Rashard Lee, a lot of people hate Dak. He's a top 10 QB. Let's see here. In general, I think a lot of the hate and whatnot comes from the preconceived notions and the bias built into where they were drafted. This works both ways, right? Like, Dak was a 4th-round pick. There's a reason why he fell to the 4th round. Sam Darnold was a top 3 pick or whatever. There's a reason why he was a top 3 pick. The answer is Darnold sucks, Dak does not. So the way to change that is to either be bad like Sam Darnold for a long time or win a title. Until you win the title, and even after to an extent, there will always be some negative standpoints around those QBs. Dallas 8-9 million next scapegoat. There you go. The millions next. Or Mike McCarthy's the next scapegoat. I get it now. Jack seems like a great individual. Jack says that he is not above flattery. Does Dallas have a chance of getting a better QB2? Jimmy G in case Dak gets hurt for the 5th time in 4 years. Those numbers don't add up in terms of, like, games missed at all. But if Jimmy G gets cut, maybe. In reality, Dak missed 1 game this year. Obviously, the freak ankle injury last year, and that's it. So I actually don't think injury is that big of a concern for Prescott. If it happens again this year, I can have that conversation. But I don't think the Cowboys view it as a concern right now. From Tommy 2 times. Okay. Where will Tyrann Mathieu sign? Let's see here. And anywhere? I am surprised that the Honey Badger has not yet found a destination. The report was that teams are worried about regression. I don't think he regressed that much. I think he's still a damn good football player. I think there are a lot of teams that should have interest, but the NFL's ageist. These 30-plus-year-old guys don't get the same money they think they're going to. We've seen that time and time again. So some fits that could make sense. Denver Broncos, Pittsburgh Steelers, constantly linked, and wouldn't that be fun for Denver? The Saints have been linked heavily. I mean, Matthew himself said he talked to Mike Tomlin. The Colts, they got money to burn. The Dolphins, which I don't hate that idea. I'm not convinced that they'd go do it. I know Chris Greer said no, but maybe the markets come back down, and it could put the Dolphins back in the conversation. So what do you think? Where will Tyrann Mathieu end up signing? Make your prediction for me right now in the comments section. From Taylor Holland, probability Tariq Woolen becomes a top 10 QB in 3 to 4 years. In general, I will always take the low side on a top 10 player. Woolen's got the traits you want. He's not a great corner right now, though. Like, the risk you run here is that Tariq Woolen is just the next in a long line of, yeah, he's a great athlete, but he's not a good football player. So I think very low. He has the traits, the size, and length that teams love, but top 10's a lot to ask for. Sky Moore, better upside than Christian Kirk? I kind of think so, yeah. I think they could go similar ranges. So I think Moore's a better route runner. But I think, like, in terms of, like, impact early on, not that far off. Maybe a bit better, hopefully, for Sky Moore. Chad Muma, perfect team fit. Take your pick. I don't know. Maybe Denver, I think, could actually be a decent fit for Chad Muma. Producer Jack's like, Vikings in my ear. I'm like, maybe Vikings. They don't need that. They don't need a linebacker that early, but maybe Vikings. Sure, if they are out long term on Kendricks, Muma could be a fit then. Yeah. From Mark of Spain, why would we announce then release Collins, not secure Steele first? He'll demand more money. So Terrence Steele is not eligible for a contract extension. Steele cannot be extended until after next year. So there was nothing the Cowboys could do there. Who could we pick up as a free agent? That's about the Cowboys, by the way. I'd call about Eric Flowers. Give me a guard so I don't have to take guard top 56, which is where the Cowboys are at right now. All right, be honest with me in the comments section. The answer is 7. Otherwise, I don't like you. How many rounds? A move just happened? You better not be playing me. Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. News. Rashaan Evans, former Titans linebacker, going to the Falcons on a 1-year deal. That makes sense. They needed linebacker help, so that kind of takes care of that need for them. So breaking news. Rashaan Evans to the Atlanta Falcons. Cool. Hey, you relax over there, Jack. How many rounds of the NFL draft will you guys watch? I see 7, 2, 5. Every last pick, 7, 7, 3. Hey, we will be live for every single round. Unlike the frauds over at ESPN and NFL Network, when we get to day 3, we don't spend our time interviewing coaches about prospects we already talked about. We will discuss every single pick that goes down because that's what you guys care about. You're here for the draft, not boring coach interviews of coach speaking. Oh, we love our guy we took in the first round. Of course. Let's switch anything from Mark real quick. Is Skeletor and Steve a clown show or is it me? Again, that is Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones. The hate for those two has increased, and rather understandably so, because it has not been a great offseason for the Cowboys. But, Mark, I always appreciate your support here at Chat Sports, my friend. We're going to get to my mock draft here in a little bit. At the end of today's live show, we still got a lot more to get to. A lot more. It's a long show for you guys because we're built different. We will have an exclusive NFL Daily segment on Rumble. I saw who asked it. Someone asked, Philip Lucas, where's Metcalf going? We will have an exclusive segment on that one right there. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Stick around. We'll be live there. DK Metcalf trade destination. So we're live on Rumble, live on YouTube. You can hang out on YouTube for the time being. But at the end of today's show, Rumble only for that segment. That link for the Rumble live stream in the chat right now. You're watching NFL Daily. Today's show is powered by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on every single one of their top-of-the-line men's grooming products when you use promo code CHAT at manscaped.com/chat. The NFL, the draft order changed again because the Eagles-Saints made a weird trade. We'll break that down, but it's time for my new and latest NFL mock draft. Number 1, no change here. I'm still going to go with Aiden Hutchinson. So we'll stick around for that one in terms of if that ends up going down. I think that's the case. But Trayvon Walker has an outside shot at being the number 1 pick. I'll put him 2 to the Lions. Unlike last year, where there were a lot of picks right by all the mock drafters, this year feels really chaotic. So I'll go Walker 2, Evan Neal 3. Do I feel immensely confident in that? No, I do not. The lack of QBs at the top makes things even more uncertain than the crapshoot that is the NFL draft. I'll go Sauce Gardner here to the Jets, who called himself the best player in the NFL draft, which is exactly what I want my corner to say. The alpha mentality, the person attitude stuff I've heard from Sauce Gardner about Sauce Gardner is incredible. I think he's going top 7. I think one of those New York teams will take him. I just don't know where or who. What I want you guys to do right now is shout out your favorite team in the comments section. There's a good chance we got a special channel just for you guys. So head down to the comments section and let me know who your favorite team is. Giants get lucky here at number 5. One of those big 2 tackles, Evan Neal, or in this case, Ike Mekwonu, fall all the way down to the Giants at 5. I think Kenny Pickett, and I could change my mind in the 3 weeks till the draft, is the pick by Carolina. Matt Rule guy. Carolina needs a win-now QB. They cannot start Sam Darnold or have a bad year because that's going to kill them. I think Pickett, from the NFL standpoint, is a bit more of the polished, developed QB, and plus he almost played for Matt Rule at Temple, and this is Matt Rule's job on the line this year. I got Willis above Pickett personally, but I'm talking about who will be drafted first. Who do you think it is? Which QB? Probably Pickett or Willis. Maybe you're feeling a dark horse pick in there. Feel free to let me know in the comments, because this question is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know which QB you think is taken first in the 2022 NFL Draft. Number 7, Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. I hate the narrative around Thibodeau. The attitude, effort, ego stuff, whatever, because it always happens with Oregon players, and it's very weird to see Kayvon Thibodeau cares a lot about his brand, and that is a negative, while Aiden Hutchinson has his own show with Pro Football Focus, and everyone's like, yeah, that's fine. That doesn't jive together for me. That's very weird. I like him a lot. The Giants get him at 7. I think that would be a steal for that organization. My guy Kyle Hamilton, number 8 here. I am hesitant to say the Falcons go tight end safety, back-to-back picks, but the Falcons would tell you, hey, that was our best player in the draft, period. So the value there for number 1 guy, for me, who is a great athlete, don't let the haters and losers tell you otherwise. It's actually a good idea for the Falcons. Number 9, Charles Cross. Seattle has no left tackle, unless you think Stone Forsythe's the guy. So I think really good chance Seattle goes tackle in round 1. Cross or Trevor Penning could be in the cards here. Pick number 10 coming up, but first, today's show, remember, it's powered by Manscaped, just like my sex life. You can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/chat. Use promo code CHAT. You can get the Lawnmower 4.0 and the Ultra Premium Collection. Make everything feeling nice and fresh out there. Body wash, body spray, deodorant, which smells incredible, by the way. Shampoo and conditioner, because why use 2 things when one thing does the trick there? 20% off on that and everything at manscaped.com/chat. That deal and everything else out there. Check the comments section and the description for that link today. Jets, Garrett Wilson, number 10. Everyone knows the Jets want another wide receiver. I thought about going tackle or edge here. I think that could also be in the cards. I like receiver 10. It's the 4th pick. I still don't know what they're going to end up doing there. Jamison Williams, who's our first surprise-ish. Dane Brugler, and I trust him completely, said that several teams have him as the number 1 receiver in this year's class. I don't think he's getting out of the top 20. Top 20-ish, maybe say top 21. Had he been healthy, I think we would have been talking about Jamison Williams as a top 5 pick and top 10 lock almost, as in that same vein of, hey, this guy's Garrett Wilson, but maybe a bit better. So injury could hurt him. I think the Commanders want to go receiver, and I could see them going Ohio State receiver too. When it comes to the receiver spot, who do you think will be the first one taken in this year's NFL draft? Head down to the comments section and let me know. I haven't changed my number 12 pick in like a month, and I don't know if I will. I think it's Derek Stingley. I think that makes so much sense, team, player, fit-wise. Maybe a team jumps the Vikings, but I think that's their plan at number 12. Maybe I'm wrong. Would not be the first time. Make no mistake. Jermaine Johnson, number 13. Texans go offensive tackle early. Maybe corners in the cards. They could go like Sauce Gardner at 3 and tackle at 4. They need edge help. I think Johnson's a good fit for what they want to do on defense. Tyler Linderbaum. Is he small? Yes. Did that matter at Iowa? No. Just take him and profit. I think Jordan Davis also could very much be in play here for the Baltimore Ravens. Eagles at 15. I'm going to give them Drake London. Let's get them some size because you got some speedy guys and Quez Watkins and even John Hightower to a much lesser extent. You got Devonta Smith. Get them a big body outside threat. That is Drake London, the Mike Williams style of receiver. The Chargers one, not the crappy USC one. I think it'd be a good fit in Philly. All right, the Saints. Remember, they have this pick now as part of that wild and wacky trade, which we'll get to in a minute. How about Malik Willis? And I'm not doing trades, but with 2 top 20 picks, I'm wondering what the Saints are plotting. Do they want a QB and a left tackle? That could certainly be the case in that scenario. Is Willis going to fall there? I think he could. I know there's a lot of top 10 buzz on Malik Willis, but the class is not that good. So I would not be surprised if he slid. If the Falcons and Seahawks don't go QB, I think he's going to slide. I think it's a very real possibility that happens. So maybe the Saints move up. They already moved up once, right? This could feel like part of a package where the Saints make one trade, get 2 top 20 picks. They could package those 2 picks, by the way, the 2 picks that they got as part of this deal with the Philadelphia Eagles, and get top 5, top 6-ish, somewhere in that range. Maybe add some more to get even higher. Eagles are getting future draft capital to help them in the future, which I actually like a lot. The easy way to read this is everything kind of gets crossed out. Saints get an extra first-round pick this year for a late third this year, a 2023 first, that's next year, and a 2024 second 2 years from now. So who won this trade? S for the Saints, E for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me know in the comment section. While you're down there, please subscribe because we're going to have the best live draft coverage on the internet altogether. So join us. It's free. Always will be. Every pick broken down here at Chat Sports, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. All right, Jordan Davis slides here. I thought about putting him to the Eagles, the Ravens. I think there's a good chance he goes early, but I got 2 QBs, receivers. That is like sky slide. That's what happens in the draft. The Chargers don't need a defensive tackle. They've signed 2 of them, but he's such a good fit for what they want to do. I love the idea of Jordan Davis in L.A. still. And he's one of my favorite guys this year. He's so big. He's so athletic. You just need a little bit more pass rush production, which I think the traits are there for. So who is your favorite prospect in this year's draft? Mine is Kyle Hamilton. He's my number 1 guy, too. Doesn't have to be your number 1. Could be a guy you like a lot relative to other people. Let me know in the comments section right now. Number 18, Trent McDuffie. Eagles need a number 2 corner. I love McDuffie. I think he should be a top 20 pick, so that ends up happening. It's, I think, a good fit for what Philadelphia wants to do. Saints again here, because they've swapped 18 and 19. Trevor Penning. And I wanted to put Penning earlier, but I could not quite find the right fit for him. So I'll go Penning 19. This gives the Saints a QB of the future and a day 1 starter at left tackle. I think that's the dream outcome for the Saints. Let's get a shocker in here. How about Desmond Ridder, round 1 of the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think there's a real chance they go up for a QB or they sit pat and take Willis. But Ridder, I think Pittsburgh wants a franchise guy this year. And if they go QB, it's not Willis or Pickett. I actually think Ridder is better for what they want to do than Matt Corral is. Plus, they're both, of course, great dual threats. So Steelers fans might not like this one. It's all good, but I wouldn't rule out QB in round 1 for them. Patriots then take Devin Lloyd. Now, you got to replace Donta Hightower. I think Lloyd could actually be a pretty decent option there. Corners a need, receivers still in play, maybe left guard. The Patriots only do weird things. That's how their drafts always go. The Packers, not receiver, Zion Johnson instead here. From Boston College. I got to get them offensive lineup. They need more help. I think Johnson ends up being the first guard off the board, probably right in this range, 21 to 24. The Cardinals at 23. Edge help is needed. I like Karlaftis. I like him a lot more at 23 than I do, say, 13 in this year's class. Who do you think is the most underrated NFL draft prospect? Someone that you think has been disrespected by draft media. Could be me, even. Let me know in the comments section. Cowboys have no left guards. There you go. Kenyon Green, the pick here for the Dallas Cowboys. Joe Philbin, watched him closely at his pro day. Kaiir Elam, number 25. Actually not a change from my previous mock draft because they need a number 2 corner. I'm a big Elam guy. I really am. I think he's a really good corner. He should be viewed as a top 5 guy. I don't think that many actually do have him in that range, though. Treylon Burks, the Titans. The guards are gone. Center's gone. Let's take the receiver to, in theory, pair him with A.J. Brown long term. Devontae Wyatt, the pick here for the Bucs. This is your Ndamukong Suh replacement. Bit more of a penetrating 3 technique. He and Vita Vea. That's a sexy interior defensive line duo, man. The Packers then get their receiver, Chris Olave. Chiefs down bad. I could see a big run on receivers, and I could see all the big 5 being gone, top 25. But maybe that's not the case. And Olave is into this team's number 1 receiver in Green Bay. That's how bad that receiving room is. 29, the Chiefs go with Sky Moore. Lots of receivers could go in this range, as back into round 1. Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, Christian Watson's probably pick, which I kind of hate round 1. I like Moore a lot. He might not be a top 32 guy for me, but he would be the best receiver on the board left in this case. Boye Mafe, edge rusher from Minnesota, to the Chiefs here because they need more juice off the edge. Mafe's a bit raw, but the upside's intriguing. It sucks that David Ojabo got hurt, but that opens up a potential round 1 spot for a replacement for him. Andrew Booth, number 31 here, to the Cincinnati Bengals, as they need another corner. And Booth and Chidozie has the upside, along with Mike Hilton, to be a really good pairing, or trio, I should say, at wide receiver. Then the shocker, Quay Walker. Yes, over the Kobe Dean. I was going to do round 1 sleepers video this week. That got delayed because of the chaos and news that's happened. Thanks, NFL. Walker was going to be the first guy on that list. And now other big media's like, yeah, Walker round 1. I'm like, you guys couldn't have waited 2 weeks. Come on. Give me a break here. He's bigger than Nakobe Dean. I like Dean more. Don't get me wrong. But don't be that shocked if Walker sneaks into round 1 this year. So grade this mock draft for me. It can be mean or nice. It's whatever. Did not have time to get to the other round 2 picks. So if you want to dock me a letter grade, I get that. A, B, C, D, or F. Shout out time now. Sip some water here. B+ from Dusty Rhodes. Dom Downey says B. Anthony says C. Nathan Floyd says B+. C says Chuck Frame. Bree says, how many more Walkers can you put on the Lions? I'll be honest, I did not realize I mocked them 2 Walkers until you said that. That's unintentional, but pretty funny there. C-, C, B, C, B. Better than a lot of others, but mine's better from Dom Downey. Sky Moore was a reach, bro. I'm not doing what I would do. I'm doing what I think the NFL might do. And I'm just saying, don't be surprised when reaches happen because they happen every single year. Like, consistently. Just keep that in mind. F- for the Steelers. Okay. B, 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 double D's. That's inappropriate, but funny. Sam says B. Mostly B's in there, which I'll take it. It really comes down to grade your own team's mock draft, so I ain't never going to be upset about that one. I promise you guys. Today's show is powered by Manscaped. I am Tom Downey, and you can save 20% and get free shipping on all of the men's grooming products when you go to manscaped.com/chat. Today's video is a look at the new Mel Kiper NFL Draft Big Board, updated for the first time since the Combine. And there are some major changes made on Kiper's videos. Let's go player by player. First up is Aiden Hutchinson, who has a very real shot of being the number 1 overall pick. In a normal class, he's not number 1. In a more down class, I get it. Ike Mekwonu is number 2 over the number 3 player of Evan Neal. The tackles here, back-to-back. I've got Neal myself over Ekwonu, but it's what we call the tags are touching. When, like, you're building your big board, those tags are together saying they're not that different in terms of the grade. So if you want to go Ike over Neal, I get it. But I'm going to take Neal because the upside, I think, where he is just a little bit better than Ekwonu. Number 4, Sauce Gardner, up 4 spots on Kiper's previous big board. The 40-yard dash time unquestionably factored in on that front. I have only heard great things about Sauce Gardner's attitude, mentality. Some culture changer stuff in there is always valuable to me. He was awesome at Cincinnati, tested well. There's not many negatives on his film here. All right, Kyle Hamilton, number 5, drops 2 spots. I am going to take this opportunity to say this. The slander around Kyle Hamilton simply must stop. This idea that he has gone from he might be the best player in the draft to, hey, he's a bad athlete or he's just a bad prospect, doesn't make sense. And there are a couple people out there, and I respect the hell out of them, who have had Hamilton not that high. But if you are going from Hamilton's awesome or not saying anything about Hamilton, just saying, oh, bad 40, I think you're insane. The athletic testing relative to his size is still nutty, guys. Like, he is still a premier athlete at 6'4", 220. The instincts are awesome. The film is awesome. You can't be scared to be wrong in the NFL draft. Because guess what? You're going to be. You will not always be right. Even if you feel great about a prospect, you know what? Sometimes they just don't care about football and you had no idea. Sometimes there are injuries. Sometimes you just missed. So I am not scared to be wrong. I love Kyle Hamilton. He's the best safety I've scouted. He's my number 1 player in this year's class. That's how good I think Kyle Hamilton is. If I'm wrong, happens. I'm wrong. But I see so much that I love on film. I'm not going to let an admittedly disappointing 40-yard dash time erase everything else. He's still fast on film. It's not that big of a concern for me in the end. Now, what do you guys think? Who is your number 1 prospect in the 2022 NFL Draft? In a way, there is no wrong answer to this question. So I'm going to make it the pinned comment of today's video. Who is your number 1 prospect in this year's class? Kayvon Thibodeau next up here at 6. No change on that front. Kind of hate the narrative around Thibodeau. Doesn't seem fair or even all that accurate, but is what it is. Someone will get a great player, I believe. Garrett Wilson, number 7, up 2 spots. You know, the 40-yard dash factored in there. He is also my wide receiver 1, although I don't have him quite as high as number 7 on my list. Drake London, number 8. So a flip here for Kiper. He had London as receiver 1. No athletic testing, which I know for some people is a concern right now, plus the injury. They pushed back the pro day another almost 2 weeks. So that actually might be a minor red flag for Drake London. Number 9, Derek Stingley. A flip here as well for Kiper. Stingley was number 5. But there are concerns about Stingley's medical, about his mindset. Like, Ahmad Gardner is the alpha. He will be the alpha in your locker room pretty quickly. Stingley might need some time to get there, which is fine. He's still awesome at playing football. I think both those guys should be, like Kiper has them, top 10 players in this year's class. Who do you have, though, as CB number 1? Type AG for Ahmad Gardner or DS for Derek Stingley. Let me know in the comments section. Trayvon Walker, who's got a lot of hype around him because, wow, talk about a freak athlete and built in a lab, by the way, is number 10 on Kiper's list. And I have not stacked my board yet. I don't think I'll have Walker quite that high. It's Rashawn Gary 2.0 for me in the end. The Ultra Premium Collection is now available on or at Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on this awesome product and this sweet graphic, by the way, and all of their products when you use promo code CHAT. CHAT at manscaped.com/chat. You can get body spray, body wash, shampoo and conditioner, lip balm, deodorant, and a bunch of other stuff beyond the ultra premium collection. There is a wide array of products. By the way, the nail trimmers from Manscaped, the best ones I've ever had. They're so much better because they're not like flimsy and crappy. It's high-end products that are absolutely worth the cost. Manscaped.com/chat. Mel Kiper's a big Jermaine Johnson guy. Got him number 13 on his list. Edge 4, by the way, in this class. Charles Cross, and this is what confuses me, went from 4 to 12, which doesn't really make sense in terms of like the slide. I think that 12 is probably a little bit closer to where I'll have him than 4, but that slide, when that happens, because Kiper's very, very in touch with the NFL and the execs, it makes me wonder if they said, Mel, you got to pull him down, bud. I wonder if that's what happened there. Also shocked by this one. Dax Hill is 13 on Mel Kiper's big board. And Hill was not ranked last time. Wasn't in his top 25. Here's what Kiper wrote. Hill is an intriguing prospect who has risen since the combine because of his speed and versatility. He ran a 4.38 40-yard dash in Indy, one of the fastest times for a safety in recent years. That is a great time, by the way, for Mel Kiper. And the speed part, okay. Maybe you weren't sold on the speed, but we knew about the versatility. Like that part is like, wait, what? Maybe he's like merging two thoughts. Like we all knew, even you guys, that Hill is a nickel corner at Michigan, probably going to be 50 in the NFL. Great speed. If you bump up because of speed, I get that. But to go up at least 13 spots from 26 at best to 13, and he wasn't 26, by the way, kind of weird. I am surprised by the jump. I love Dax Hill, too. I got a first, second round grade on him, so it'll be top 25 for me, but 13's a lot. That's a big jump for Hill. Chris Olave, number 14, up one spot as Trent McDuffie slides 3 of them. McDuffie is a good football player. I like him a lot. I think 15's about the right range for him, but he's got tiny arms. And it's not fair, but you can pretty much guarantee that the NFL will ding him for having undersized arms. Now, we have the best NFL draft coverage you could possibly ask for here on Chat Sports. Daily videos will be live for the entire NFL draft. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe right now. Malik Willis, number 16, the first of the QBs, and I will not have the QBs this high this year. We've talked a lot about Willis and Kenny Pickett. Those two guys are back-to-back here, both of them up 2 spots, 18-19 last time around. Okay. I've got Willis as my QB1. Who do you have as your QB? Because I want to hear from you guys too. Let me know in the comments section. Which QB do you believe is the best one in this year's class? Sound off for me in the comments section right now. Number 18, Tyler Linderbaum. And I know it's the arm length and size. I know it is. I get it. I understand those concerns. But if you want to put thresholds on prospects, I get it. But the reason why those exist is to say, hey, he's going to have issues with that in the NFL. But he didn't ever have issues at Iowa. He's not Quentin Nelson. But he's a top 10 guy for me. I think Linderbaum is going to be a future Pro Bowl center in the NFL. Trevor Penning, number 19. I think this is actually about right for him, too. Great athlete. I didn't love the film in terms of, like, he was great. But I wanted to be, like, great at UNI. Meme player coaches will love this kid. Jamison Williams, number 20. He was number 24. I think the ACL rehab is going pretty well. I think there's a good chance he's off the board before pick number 20. One of Mel's guys now, Jahan Dotson, number 21. I like him a lot. He is a top 10 receiver for me. I'm a bit surprised. Top 5 receiver, though, for Mel Kiper. Now, what I want you guys to do right now in the comments section is name a surprise round 1 pick. Let me know. Any player you think could sneak in the back end of round 1, and stay tuned because I'll do a video on that at some point in the near future as well. Devin Lloyd, number 22, a drop of 6 spots. The poor 40-yard dash, probably a factor on that one. Kiper listed Devontae Wyatt as a defensive end, which was weird to me because he's a defensive tackle. Didn't quite get that. Maybe he meant 5 technique. Either way, this is about the right range for him. Although I will say, over Jordan Davis is going to raise some eyebrows, I know, in the comments section. Kenyon Green was not ranked as now 24, which after a kind of middling combine, I was not anticipating. But I like Kenyon Green a lot, so I don't mind that one from Kiper. David Ojabo stays at 25. Talent-wise, that's, if not too low, about right. But the ACL injury, or the Achilles injury, that is a big red flag for me. That is Kiper's top 25. Who is he hating on? Who did he leave off this list that really should have been on there? I'm going to break down 5 names, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments. Here are the more commonly mocked round 1 top 5 Kiper left off. Jordan Davis, which I was very surprised by after his combine. He's a freaking freak, man. George Karlaftis out of Purdue, who I think is a borderline top 25 guy for me. Nakobe Dean, who will be top 25. Traylon Burks will be top 25. And Zion Johnson, I thought, could have been above Kenyon Green, but it's close there. Kaiir Elam, one of my guys, also I think should be in consideration for that spot. Shout-out time now. Who's he hating on? I see Jordan Davis in there. Perfect. I saw some anger over Kaiir Elam not being in there. I get that. Someone was real mad about Elam, but I missed that comment. I don't remember. Yeah, it's fine if you want to get mad. It's all good there. Yeah, Caleb's a big Kaiir Elam fan. Nathan's a big, I think. Oh, Nathan loves Tariq Woolen. The upside's immense there. He's just not good at football yet. At least not great at football yet, I should say. Jordan Davis, Todd McShay. That's funny. That's a good one, Jay Lou. I like that one. Chris Olave. See it. Tariq Woolen. Are you guys going to be okay when Woolen goes second round? Like, we're going to be okay, right? I told you guys like 3 months ago he was going to go round 2. Tyler Beatty and Caleb Evans. Are you a Missouri fan, Dom Downey? Interesting. Both Bama receivers. Jaquan Brisker. It's a good name. I like him a lot, too. Dustin, Woolen ain't getting to you in the 3rd round. Not backing around. I'd be shook there. Keep it coming. Who's Mel Kiper hating on right now? MLZ Video says, where's the 4K HDR? I don't know if we have that capability right now. Mark has a super chat too. Other ones we'll get to as part of the mailbag here. I think we'll do this one first. For the Cowboys, I would not mind trading out for multiple 2s if the talent level is similar to the 1s this year. Any solid center or guard that fit that bill. I think Linderbaum and Green and Johnson are in that range, but you got to take those guys with your 1. They ain't going to fall to you into the early mid part of round 2. So, Mark, can't stand Kiper. I would rather watch reruns of Oprah and The View. Which solid first-round grade O-line has a chance of dropping just if you try to round 1? So, in general, teams, and this is how I operate too, don't give out 32 first-round grades. There are really only 16-ish, maybe 20 first-round grades, which is they ain't going to fall to you at 32 or even 33. So I think it's Johnson, Green, Linderbaum makes sense in there, and those guys aren't going to fall out of round 1. From Mark again, Kiper has nothing on you or your crew, Brother Tom. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. You're very kind, my friend. Nathan is still big mad in the comment section. Hey, Nathan, it's all good, brother. You mentioned Kyler Gordon, too. He might be a surprise round 1 pick. I know the NFL likes him. I like McDuffie more. I like Woolen, too. But it's not just athletic ability. Film's got a little bit to be desired there. Now, we will have our mailbag coming up next, so use hashtag NFL or Super Chat to get your question answered live. And Producer Jack says if you say nice things about Jack in the comments section, you up your chances of being on air. If you have questions, make sure to use hashtag NFL. It gets it in the queue for Producer Jack to find those questions. Now, after this mailbag ends, We've got DK Metcalf trade destinations coming up, only live on Rumble. So stay tuned for that exclusive segment up there. The link will be in the comment section and the description. We'll end the Facebook stream and the YouTube stream. Only be live there on Rumble. So stay tuned for that coming up after today's NFL mailbag. This is Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. You are watching our latest mailbag. All your questions on whatever you want to know around the NFL coming up right now. Super Chat from Mark. Who in our division scares you the most, Brother Tom? You mean the NFC East. I rank them as the Eagles, I think, are your biggest threat. Then the Commanders, then the Giants. Depending on what the Giants do in the draft, I could see them jumping the Commanders, but I don't believe in Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones, and that's why they're behind the Eagles for me. From Nick McClain, if the draft board doesn't fall in favor of the Cowboys, who can you see them moving back from 24? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's happened before. They moved back and took Travis Frederick a few years ago. Probably not going to go quite as well. But yeah, I think that's what teams do. If the board doesn't go their way, they could trade down. They could also move up if they're getting picked out on the guys they really, really want. From Phillips Chill Videos, who is the best receiver outside of round one? I don't think George Pickens goes round one, but that's a really good football player. And it's kind of like receiver Derek Stingley, where had the career been flipped, he'd be in that top, I think, 15, top 20 conversation. I love his attitude, by the way. He's such a bully out there in a good way, I mean. So I like Pickens a lot there. I'm a big Alec Pierce fan, who I know will be there in round 2 and maybe round 3. I think those are two names. I think guys like a Christian Watson, a Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore are maybe better guys, but I think they have a better chance of going round 1 than George Pickens does. From Benjamin Tucci, should the Panthers pursue Baker Mayfield? That or Jimmy Garoppolo? Look, the Panthers allegedly don't want Baker, and Baker doesn't want Carolina, which, okay. Beggars also can't be choosers either side. QB class is not great this year. Maybe Carolina goes QB round 1. They pass on Baker. See if it works out for him. Alex Alay, why is Kayvon Thibodeau falling down boards? It's a good question. I will not speak for myself because I like Thibodeau a lot. I want to make that clear. But the reports and buzz and whispers and claims out there are kind of as follows here. He's not a great bender. It's true. He doesn't have great bend. He's not a great athlete. False. Not as big as we thought. Kind of true. But also, like, you should have known that because the numbers were out there for a while here, like from a team perspective. He's got an ego. Sure. But also, like, you know, he's a top 10 pick. Like, of course he has an ego. It's not a bad thing. He's got focus issues. He cares about his brand. And that's what annoys me the most. This, like, Thibodeau doesn't love football. We've heard that before with other top Oregon prospects. Justin Herbert doesn't love football. He's too smart. Real thing. Penei Sewell, immature with no specifications as to why. That narrative happens a lot with Oregon guys. And it's 0 for 2 with Sewell and Herbert so far. And I don't get why that happens just for them. Doesn't make any sense. And it's really weird to see the Thibodeau cares too much about his brand when Aiden Hutchinson has a show already with PFF. Like, that narrative disconnect doesn't make sense to me. It's really weird. I think Thibodeau should probably pick number 2. If I were the Lions and I missed out on Hamilton, I'm not going to go safety in round 1, which, okay, I get positional value. I would take Thibodeau. The Texans at 3. The Jets at 4. The Giants at 5. Should all strongly consider Kayvon Thibodeau. The Giants 7. Falcons 8. Seahawks 9. If he gets out of the top 10, maybe then the NFL is right. Maybe then there is the real stuff. They're concerned about a Justin Gilbert all over again. For you Browns fans, you know that one. And maybe we're wrong. It's tough to know, but the NFL isn't always right on those things. And it's just, the narrative is weird for around Kayvon Thibodeau, especially with the Oregon stuff being similar in the past. And I like him a lot. Top 5 guy for me. I take him in a heartbeat. So what do you think? Who will draft Kayvon Thibodeau this year? Pin comment on today's video. The ad break comes. You know the drill. head down there. Let me know who you think will draft Kayvon Thibodeau in round 1 of this year's class. Andrew Temple, do you think that the way things are going right now when teams don't have the money to pay big players, they just get traded off? So it's not they don't have the money. The Packers wanted to pay Devontae Adams. The Chiefs could have paid Tyreek Hill. They could have paid Amari Cooper. It was that they didn't think the value was right. And in general, that is what teams should do. If you're not going to pay somebody and somebody else will, then trade them and get something back. So I think that is the way things are going, and frankly, it's the way they've gone before. Teams are just a bit more aggressive in trading for those guys than what they might have been in the past. From Mark, O-line in round 1 for the Cowboys. Who do you see in round 2? I think receiver. Maybe it's a guy like a John Mechie, who will, I think, maybe be on the board for you in the second round. They want more receiver help. Jerry said that himself. So they will look heavily at receivers round 1, round 2, and if they have to, round 3 as well. NFL Daily is now also on Rumble. Exclusive content, more videos, and of course stuff we post here on YouTube is also available on Rumble. We try to dominate that platform. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. DG Sports Talk, are y'all hiring? That is above my pay grade, my friend. But to answer your question on Pierre Strong, I just finished him up the other night, so let me read off from my scouting report here. Pierre Strong, 5'11" and change, 202. Zone rushing scheme. Sleeper. I wish he played FBS. But he tested great with elite production at South Dakota State. Made some guys miss. Big play threat, 10 rush touchdowns of 50-plus yards. Drops are an issue, and they were an issue at South Dakota State for this past year against just 22 catches. I think he's a bit more like build-up straight line speed than big-time explosion, which is probably fine. My question mark is he Elijah Mitchell? I think it's a good player comparison. Or on the downside, is he Darrington Evans? 4th round, could have a sleeper on your hands there. Josh G6. Does Kirk have a great year with Trevor Lawrence? 1,200 yards. You better hope so for what you're paying him. It's weird because I think Kirk's a 2. But he might be your 1 this year. So hopefully he has a big-time year. I think the Jags' offense will be better after as bad as things were last year. Now, if you want daily NFL videos and the 2022 NFL Draft Live, you're at the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Evan Hinders, if the Chargers draft Jameson Williams, will that make them the team to beat? No. I don't think there is anything LA can do right now to make them the true team to beat. And the reason is they haven't proven it yet. They have done nothing in the postseason. I love Herbert. I love Williams. I think they'll be a playoff team and a dangerous one at that. But I can't call a team who has yet to make the postseason with this current regime in charge, like QB, head coach, etc., the team to beat. They're dangerous. I would love them to get Jameson, but I'm not going to call them a team to beat. They'll be a very popular pick, though, to make a run, and they will be dangerous. From Best Believe, any chance Denver tries to get Quan Alexander? I think he'll sign after the draft, so let's see what the draft holds for Denver. And maybe right tackle. Maybe linebacker in their cards in round 2, in round 3, etc. So I could see it. I think they want a bigger linebacker for that scheme, though. Anthony Easworthy. What about Dallas taking John Mechie in the 2nd or 3rd? I think you got to take him round 2. I don't think he gets back to you in the 3rd round. He was the guy, not Jameson Williams, that Bama went to when they needed a play. Has some inside-outside flexibility. You got to worry about the ACL. Drops were a concern too, but he's a good route runner. Did a good job in contested catches there. I think he doesn't have the same upside as other guys. I think he's a higher floor-ish player who will be a good receiver 2, receiver 3 for you in the NFL. From all the Vikes, could the Vikings shock everyone and go QB in round 1? Maybe. Outside of corner, I don't see any glaring needs. They also just restructured Kirk Cousins' deal and have said a lot of praise for him, so I'd be a little bit surprised if they went that route. I don't think Pickett's a great fit for them in terms of he's going to be more ready to play right now, and they would want to try maybe groom someone. But what if Malik Willis was the pick? I think he could be there. I got my top 5 QBs up here. Desmond Ridder at 3, Matt Corral 4, Sam Howell 5. None of them would have been a top 5 QB last year, and in most years they're more of a QB 3. But it's a bad QB class at the top, at least. Some teams I think could go QB early. I think Carolina's going QB. Unless they trade for Jimmy G, you cannot start Darnold next year, man. The Falcons, Seahawks are rebuilding. If they love a guy like Malik Willis, they'll take him. Otherwise, wait, don't take a QB. The Saints now have 2 first-round picks. Don't sleep on them. And Pittsburgh, I think they could get aggressive this year. So how many QBs do you think go in the first round of this year's NFL draft? 1, 2, 3, 4? Let me know in the comments section. From Brokov, would you mind Dallas taking McBride and using him as a receiver tight end hybrid instead of a receiver in round 2? I mean, I think long term, that is your tight end to replace Dalton Schultz. It's a need. I like 2 tight end sets. Sure. I'm not sure he's there in round 2, but that's about where I would take him. I would not touch him in the first round. From Kyle, what is the chance Chiefs move up 10 to 12 spots for a receiver? Pretty decent. They are, I think, outside the range of the top 5 falling to them. Maybe that's not the case, but I think the top 5 go earlier than that. So if they want to secure one of those guys, go up and go get one. I could see that happening for KC, absolutely. From Jason Reynolds, should Carolina trade McCaffrey? Yes and no. The contract's not great. He's been injured. I don't think the Panthers would do it because that regime has to win games right now. And that means they need McCaffrey. Because otherwise, that's your second best offensive playmaker. You have to have him on your team right now to keep your job, so they're not going to do it. Other teams, I don't know how much interest there'd be, in all seriousness. Injuries, running backs, big contract, those things don't go together these days. Cameron Christie, what are good fits for Devin Lloyd? I think Lloyd, to an extent, is kind of like there isn't a scheme he doesn't fit in. 6'3-ish, 237, long arms, not elite 40, but his testing overall was still good. Special teams value, there's good instincts, 2-year captain, he can cover, he can run, he can blitz a little bit. Like, those are all things you want. I got a first-round grade on him. So if you're going to go linebacker in round 1, I think teams like the Patriots could start to make sense at that point. Eagles never go linebacker round 1, but maybe. The Commanders could be a dark horse at number 11, as weird as that sounds with all their linebacker investment there. If the Giants go back up in round 1, they could make sense. Chargers, dark horse, fit for linebacker after losing Kaiser White. Maybe Packers. Dallas is a fit there. Titans, I know people link the Tennessee Titans to a linebacker, but I don't think it's that big of a need for them. The Lions, I think, worst case. I would be shook if Devin Lloyd doesn't go round 1. From Will Clark, Lamar Jackson trade since he won't sign an extension. I would be surprised again here. Lamar seems like he wants to wait, which, okay, it's weird. The Ravens want to pay him. But this is also why you wait if you want to as a QB. Because the market has changed drastically this year. If you're Lamar, aren't you asking for the Deshaun Watson deal? And you say, what is Deshaun Watson that I haven't done? The answer is literally nothing. He's had more playoff success. And he doesn't have the off-the-field stuff. Watson's fully guaranteed deal is a problem for NFL teams. They don't like that because the other QBs are going to ask for that now too. And that's an issue for him. Maybe he settles for the Josh Allen deal. But whenever Lamar gets paid, as long as he doesn't collapse as a player, it's going to be a lot. So with that in mind, what is the most that you would pay Lamar Jackson per year? Is it 40? Less than that? 43, 45, or more? Let me know right now in the comments section. All right, the pin poll. We have a flipjack. North Carolina is now leading the pin poll. Tyler Jones down bad right now. 51% in favor of North Carolina. 49% in favor of Kansas. So it's a narrow poll there. Let me know who you got. KU or UNC. Shout out your boy, me, for winning the bracket this year at Chat Sports. Good stuff. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. I won my money pool, too, which is super nice. KU or UNC. That is going to do it for us here on the YouTube side of NFL Daily. But we are still going to stay live on Rumble talking about some DK Metcalf trade conversation. So if you haven't already, head over there on Rumble. I'll put the link in the live chat so you guys can go over there. It'll be there aplenty. Don't worry. Go hit us up, rumble.com/NFL. It'll give you guys like a minute or so to go over there while I sip some water. We're talking DK Metcalf trade destinations only on Rumble next here. It's rumble.com/NFL. The link is in their live chat. Get over there, all right? We'll break that down only on Rumble Live. My wife is mad at me for being late home, but hey, we're gonna do more stuff. Promise you we do more, so we're gonna do it. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Get over there right now. Breeze, yes, it is free. It's free as well. Click the link and you guys are there. There's an app you can download as well, just like there's a YouTube app as well, but you can watch on your phone as needed or your desktop, wherever you're watching from. Free as well. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. So head over there right now. We're going to end the YouTube and Facebook side, go Rumble only for the final segment of today's video.